Hey there, Marina Ormes here with your Astro vibe for Sunday, September 25th. Today there is a new moon in Libra, and so we're shifting from last month's Virgo moon cycle to the upcoming Libra moon cycle. So we've got a whole month ahead where we can work on these Libra issues. And that is why today we are talking about, and I'm going to be sharing 3 ways the Libra new moon can restore balance and justice. And Libra energy, of course, is about balance. It's opposite Aries in the zodiac, and Aries is about coming forth. It's about life force energy. It is about action, movement, and will, and the ability to move and get what we want in the world. It's a very selfish sign, Aries is. And that's why Libra, which is the opposite, is about how we relate to other people. So it takes our focus out of the realm of selfishness and what we need as individuals, and it brings it into the realm of how we operate in partnership and what the function of relationships serves in our lives, and how it helps us understand ourselves better, see ourselves from a different perspective, bring in new perspectives, new ways of thinking about things, looking at things that come from outside of ourselves. And so at a very core level, Libra energy is about balance. It's about how we relate to other people. It's about how other people help us be more of who we are and help us to actualize our potential as individuals by being that reflection, that that energy of being something outside of ourselves that can reflect what we're saying back to us and give us new ways of looking at things and thinking about things. And so with this new moon, we are shifting again. We're completing the Virgo moon cycle, where we did magic through attending to details and getting things operating smoothly. And now we're shifting into the world of interaction and collaboration, partnership, relatedness, how we work together, which includes themes of balance, of justice, of what it looks like to compromise and to work effectively with others. And I've got a meditation for you that can help you deepen the work if you're looking for some deeper work into this new moon energy and to work with this coming moon cycle. It's called Living the Ideal of Peace. It's just a fantastic 30-minute guided meditation that can help you tap into your own deeper wisdom about what you need to feel more peaceful and how to be that force of peace in the world, that the world needs you, and is going to help to create peace in the world around you. So if you'd like that deeper work, that meditation is available. I'll place a link here in the description and the comments for this video, so you can check that out. And some people did have an issue last time with my guided meditation being the wrong one being posted, and we had a glitch. Mercury is retrograde, so we never know exactly what's going to happen, but we'll be monitoring that and making sure that you get that meditation in a timely manner if you choose to order that. $33 it is, and it's some powerful energy work, so highly recommended. So our theme for today is 3 ways the Libra new moon can restore balance and justice. And I've got some deep ideas here for you to contemplate. And so the first way that Libra helps us to bring about balance in our lives is through understanding this difference between what peace means when we're talking about things being easy and simple, and peace just being calm because there's no ripples in the water, there's nothing upsetting the apple cart. Peace just means things are easy and we don't have to work too hard or think too hard. That's one of the ways that we think about peace, and I'd like to invite us to think about peace less about the absence of disruption and more about a balance of energies. And so we have what we can think about as a calm kind of peace versus a dynamic kind of peace. And peace and balance can sometimes come through things that are operating in ways that require more action on our parts. So sometimes peace it doesn't mean that we're inactive. It doesn't mean that we're sitting on our laurels and everything's hunky-dory. It can mean that we need to be in action, that we need to be speaking up, to have a voice, to presence, voices in the room that have been silenced, to recognize the perspective of others in the group, or, depends on whether you're talking about a relationship, in which case you need to have that balance between the two sides, or whether you're talking about more of a wider community where you might need to be thinking about all the voices at the table, all the groups, stakeholders that have interest in how things go. And balance of power is really important here also. So thinking about where the power traditionally has been and bringing some balance back to that through accountability, through justice, through, again, bringing other voices, other perspectives that have not had as much power to the table. That is absolutely one way of having peace, right? You can't have peace if you don't have justice, if you don't have balance, if you don't have that intention to restore the balance of power. And it doesn't mean that you're perfect. It is a dynamic piece. It means that you are in flux. It means that you are open to a rebalancing or a readjusting of parts of the whole to bring about that balance in the bigger whole, and what that wellness looks like for the whole. And so when we're thinking about ourselves as individuals and our health and our well-being, we want all parts of us to be healthy, right? Not, well, I have, a great heart, but my lungs don't work so well, or my, whatever it is not working, is maybe not how we want to think about it. So let's think about it as all parts of us functioning optimally and giving energy, some extra resources, love and energy and support to the parts of us that are not functioning as optimally. So we want to think about that in the world around us as well. And so thinking about peace and balance as something that is dynamic rather than as something that is easy or we can take for granted, or we can just let it keep going the way it is because that feels more peaceful than having to find courage or do something about it, right? So think about peace and think about the difference between a calm piece and an easy piece and a dynamic piece, and what that might look like, and what your part could be to play in the wider world, and how you might need to take action or do something or offer something that you're good at or show up for. It could be that, you know, in your corner of the world, in your community, in your family, that there's something you can do to help someone else that helps to restore that dynamic balance. And you know, maybe helping others who aren't functioning as optimally and offering your support to that, or maybe receiving some support if you are not functioning as optimally. That is equally an option that can help to restore balance, right? And so if you're the one who's always giving and doing, and you are not receiving support and other people are maybe just letting you do everything, that's also not balance, right? So we need to take action, make adjustments, open to changes that are going to help us to restore balance and bring things back into the kind of wellness where all parts of the whole are healthy and in balance and as functioning as optimally as they can, and so that we're functioning as optimally as we can together. And so that's going to be true also for relationships. And we do have for the next month, for the from the Libra new moon through until the next new moon, which will be in Scorpio, we're going to be focused on the work of relationship. And so in your personal relationships, could be intimate relationships, romantic relationships, spouse, partner, but it could also be relationships that you have with friends, with colleagues, with coworkers, any kind of one-to-one dynamic where it's you and another person working in partnership together, and so how you are needing to balance each other, and so the work of relationship is also this work of looking at what does it mean to be peaceful in a way that you don't want to have to do anything, versus being peaceful in a way that is dynamic, that requires bringing things back into balance. And so do you need to is there anything you need to say in your relationships? Are there any places where you need to listen more deeply? Are there any ways where the balance of power is maybe not optimal and that could be addressed? Are there any ways where you give up your power or your rights? And we're going to talk about that in number 2. So that's a good segue. But first, you know, just number 1 is about that feeling of peace being calm and easy versus it being dynamic, active, and restorative. So bringing things back into balance. So that's number 1. And I know we got some deep ideas here today, so stay with me. Number 2 way that the Libra new moon can restore balance and justice is this idea of compromise. So what is it? There's 2 kinds of compromise I'm going to talk about. One is doormat compromise and one is productive compromise. So Libra brings the energy of thinking about the whole, thinking about what we're doing together and how we are working together and what it is we're creating as we try to do this work of operating as a partnership. And the theme of compromise means that we're willing to maybe not be so selfish, maybe give up something that's important to us for the good of the whole. And that's not a bad thing, right? The greater good sometimes means that we look in the bigger picture than just ourselves and what we need and what we want. Sometimes it means that we give up some things we're attached to that might take us to a place of understanding or greater balance. So making some compromises, making some sacrifices at the personal level can support the health and the well-being of the whole. People who are fighting for justice might be needing to, work extra hard to bring justice, or stay late some nights to do that work to help the whole. And some of that personal sacrifice can be good for the greater good. In a relationship, it could be, that you say, well, I wanted this thing, but I can wait, or let's talk it through, or let's work out our issues first. That might be a form of sacrifice or compromise, just to say, I'm not going to just do whatever I want just because I want, because it's about what's good for the whole, but also what's good for me about being part of this bigger whole. And so there might be something here for me that could serve my growth, my sense of learning more about who I am and what I am capable of, that I could discover if I give up my immediate instant gratification needs to open to what it is we can create together. And so that's one piece of that, is that it actually does serve not only the whole, but sometimes our individual selves in our personal growth when we participate in this experience of partnership and collaboration and working together for the greater good. So the other kind of compromise we can make, of course, is the doormat kind. And so you really want to watch out for that, because if you are letting someone wipe their feet on you, that's not really healthy compromise, right? That is you saying, I don't really want to have to work for this. I'm okay with just letting you treat me that way because I don't want to upset the apple cart. I want things to be easy. I want it to just feel good. And so that willingness to maybe not take action or speak up when we know we should, because it makes people happy. It maintains the peace, right? That calm kind of peace, not the dynamic peace that we need that really restores balance, but more of that experience of letting someone walk all over you, of compromising your own voice, your own power, giving away your power, people pleasing, right? Being really nice because you like what happens when you're nice and people like you. But really, is that really what you want? Is it really taking you to the highest potential? So thinking about, and sometimes we do that. Sometimes we do the doormat compromise because we have some traumas in our past, and we might have fears. We might not be ready to take that action. And so be kind to yourself. That's also part of dynamic peace, is acceptance, forgiveness, accepting where you are and accepting what you're ready for, and also challenging yourself to say, okay, can you take that next step? What would that look like? Maybe it's not a hard boundary. Maybe it's not leaving or stating a clear boundary, but maybe there's a step you can take that helps you build that deeper trust in yourself to be able to say what you need to say. So what are the actions, the baby steps you can take that help you feel more confident, that help you find your courage? Maybe there are ways you can practice in safer ways in your life to stand more fully in your power, to find your backbone. It's easier for some of us than it is for others. And so some people, are the natural warriors and they're going to go fight the good fight. And others of us, it's can be very hard to say, I'm not a fighter. I want everybody to be happy. So that is the Aries Libra dynamic. And this month we're focusing on the Libra side of that. So you may need to find some of your Aries warrior self and courage, because that is how you participate in the dynamic piece that helps to create and restore balance and bring justice. So in the bigger world, we talked about justice and maybe needing, the people who are actively working on bringing about justice might have to do some self-sacrifice to participate in that, but also in your life, what are the ways that you might need to make some productive compromises, some compromises that allow you to be in your courage, allow you to be stepping into your power, and speaking up where you need to speak up, listening more deeply where you need to listen more deeply, and thinking about the greater good, which may mean centering or presencing someone else, but it also may mean centering or presencing yourself. And so they're both different kinds of balance, right? And maybe you've been too silent, maybe you've been too loud. What is it that's going to help bring about that balance and that dynamic piece? Okay, so that was number 2, doormat compromise versus productive compromise. Deep ideas we're talking about here. Okay, and then the third of our 3 ways that the Libra new moon can restore balance and justice is the idea of selfishness versus inclusiveness. And this idea that we are participating in a whole, in something that has a greater good, but also, again, it's that greater possibility for ourselves. So what does it mean if we stay isolated, alone in our own selves and our own needs, always having control? We might that's good to a point, right? Maybe we could get things working in our lives just the way we want them, and nobody's going to upset that or interrupt that. But there's a point where we want relationship and we want to have the experience of working with others and with another person. And that is also a way of developing ourselves, of expanding, growing, stepping into new possibilities, new perspectives. Think of that. What happens when you have a conversation with a good friend? It's different from having those same thoughts that just circulate in your own head, right? You have that experience of having maybe even your own thoughts reflected back to you, where someone puts it in a different way, or even just hearing your own thought reflected back to you gets you to see it a different way. Or you say, oh wow, yeah, I know I said that, but to hear my words back to me just really opens up something for me. So there's that. And when we are in relationship, when we have that experience of conversation, we can exchange, right? Exchange ideas, riff off of each other, go from where we are to something new opening up, to having thoughts that can grow and expand, new possibilities that can come in, things that we haven't thought of. The ways that a conversation with a good friend can stimulate ideas, can renew your energy, right? Restore your energy and help you come back to yourself. And it's exciting. So it's that feeling of connecting with another being outside of yourself, even a pet, right? And even having a relationship with a pet can do that. It's just the experience of it not just being you. And so that feeling of expanding into relationship also takes us into this difficult territory of relationship work. And in relationship, we have different needs, different perspectives, different things that are important to us, different ways of moving and being in the world. So when we get into that experience of a relationship and do that relationship work, again, it opens up worlds of possibility for ourselves. It also allows us to do more together than we could do by ourselves. So you have partnership, you have groups working together, you have let's come together to do this thing, to save democracy, to restore women's rights, to bring about justice and balance. And we're going to be seeing some themes as we go through this moon cycle. We've already had many themes about what's going on in the legal world, about justice for some wrongs that have been done, some crimes that have been committed. And so there's that important, again, that dynamic balance of bringing things back to where we want them to be so that we can be more. And I do believe strongly that in this process of having our peace, our balance disrupted, through our country being threatened and challenged in many ways, that we actually have this opportunity to take the whole, the greater good of a true multicultural democracy that centers women's rights, that believes in people, that helps all people to be cared for, to have their needs met, to restore kindness in the world, and have that expand. So possibilities that we couldn't imagine, well, we could imagine them, right? But we weren't very close. We weren't as close as we are now to actualizing them. We were further away from actualizing possibilities before these disruptions happened. And so these disruptions, again, even though they're uncomfortable, it's confusing sometimes, we're scared, all those things are happening. But it's motivating us, and it's asking us to step into our power in ways that the easiness of the peace that we had before wasn't. So again, this dynamic sense of balance means that sometimes imbalance pushes us in ways that helps the greater good to evolve, helps us to work together. And those potent and powerful themes are going to be with us this month as we go through the Libra moon cycle. So hopefully I've been giving you plenty to think about, but also just think about what in your life is asking you to step up, to speak up, to be more of yourself, to find your courage, which the word courage means heart, right? So speak your truth, be and live from your heart, be present for others with kindness and caring, because when you do those things, you are affirming and modeling to the world, this is what it looks like to live in a way that brings kindness and caring into the world and embodies kindness and caring. And so what does that mean for you? So some reflection this month on how you want to embody more of your truth, more of what is important to you, getting out of that feeling that that the world's problems are just overwhelming and it's pointless for you to even try, right? Because it's not whether we can solve the problems of it's not whether the world is going to be okay. It's whether we are going to decide to be okay. And so when we decide to be okay, that is a powerful statement that we are creating actively in this moment a world that is okay. And so it doesn't mean we're never afraid. It doesn't mean that we have always got a handle on things or that we win every battle. It just means that we're willing to show up and keep showing up and learning how to be more fully ourselves. And so what does that look like for you? I'd love to hear your thoughts as you think about this and process this information. This new moon is also the perfect opportunity to set your intentions. I talk a lot about working with intentions and manifestation in the moon cycle. So we're at the new moon. This is the moment to plant your seeds. Whatever you're focusing on right now will magnify. So if you are not consciously setting intentions for positive outcomes, you're unconsciously feeding energy to negative ones. So you get what you focus on. And if you're focusing on the fear and the powerlessness, then you might be manifesting more of that. So consciously choosing to focus on what it is you want. Make a intention statement. Here's what it feels like when the world feels peaceful to me. Here's what kindness and caring looks like. And here's what I can do to be part of that kindness and caring. And this is the intention statement is not it's not a final exam. It's not like you set your intention and then the next day you failed to do something positive and then you can just forget it. An intention statement is a way of affirming that you want to be part of this more positive way of being. And so it's always something you can return to in the present moment. When you realize, oh gosh, I was really having a negative thought there, or that I was really letting my fears dominate my day. Noticing that and then saying, okay, I can recognize that that's happened. I'm human. It happens. I'm just going to take a moment to remember what it is I want. And that's why having that intention statement can be so powerful. You can just pull it out and just read it, take a deep breath, open to that manifesting, acknowledge you don't know how it's going to manifest or what it will look like. Remember, it's not a pass or fail thing. It doesn't mean that if something goes poorly tomorrow that it's all over. Every present moment is a new opportunity to step into this dynamic feeling of peace. And so there's a question of what do I need to do now? Who do I need to be now? How can I take care of myself now so that I can be in that place of self-trust where I have my courage, my heart to take action or be embodying the values that are important to me. So focus on that. This moon cycle, it will last for 4 weeks ish, the way that a moon cycle does. And so as we do those first 2 weeks up to the full moon, we're going to be building and learning and trying things and putting ourselves out there and experimenting with our thoughts and our attitudes, and then something gets revealed at the full moon. The full moon in Aries will reveal something about how, you need to find your courage and what that looks like for you. And then we'll be integrating that for 2 weeks. And then we begin again with the next moon cycle. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Again, that meditation can help you with this deeper energy work to support yourself in aligning with your own deeper wisdom, with your own truth, creating your own ability to connect with that feeling of peace in your body and live that in your daily life, put it into practice. So really powerful guided meditation. It'll be in the description of this video and also in the comments. So find that there. It's $33, really worth it in my opinion. And let me know what you think. Thank you so much for being here and for being part of this journey as we go forward to learn more about what it means to create peace in the world and to live in ways that help us evolve personally and collectively. All right. Thanks for being with me today. That was some deep stuff. And so thanks again. And subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Thank you if you've already subscribed, and thank you for all your support. Bye for now.